Okay, hello everyone. So for the final projects, our group 3 choose this topic, the impact of gender stereotype on career choice in the US and Japan, and specific occupations in civil servants. And we will help you understand what and why this topic was the chosen one topic for us. So our group consists of 5 members, as you can see here. And for today's, we divide it for main part. First one, introduction. Second, gender stereotype diverse in the US and Japan for civil servants. Third, impact of gender stereotype to career advancement on civil servants. And finally, we come to conclusions. And for the first part, introductions, I, Lê Hợp Phương, will help you understand briefly about the definitions and some example of it. Come to a definition. So gender stereotypes are preconceived and generalized views about how people often view one gender, what they can do and what they expect them to do. So belief about how people of a certain gender typically behave and their attributes, and in this topic we especially dive through the business context and why we must know about this topic. So we have some here because it influences career interest and choice, can stifle career-related ambition in women. Effects are crucial for promoting equitable career opportunities. So as you can see here, when we go through business and find some work to work with, we have some concern because there are male-dominated jobs and is in some high positions and other like CEO, IT consultants, they will prefer male over females. And in another like female-dominated jobs, there are no prefer in any aspect because they hiring male or females applicants equally. So more examples for you to understand. The first was communion. Communion is trade that more like nursing and for feminities, they usually think women will do something like teacher, nurse, and for agency here is policemen. They will have traits like leadership, assertiveness. They think male can do better than women. And for we choose 2 countries, Japan and US, because they different in historical origins, cultures, and workplace expectations. In US, they more like individualism, and they just focus on can women balance in work and family. But in Japan, they do not think like that because Japan's when women marry, they tend and people expect them to quit their job and focus on home and be as housewives. And here is a profession by gender, Japan vs United States. Type 1 is profession job and type 2 in profession. In type 2 also a profession. This is like in Japan's men, type 1 is more like profession outside human service, such as engineering, laws, and type 2 is more like service education. You can see the big difference here. And for more details, we will move to the next part. My friend Mỹ Linh will talk about gender stereotype diverse in the US and Japan for civil servants.
Okay, thank you, Hà Phương. So I will continue the next part, gender stereotypes diverse in the US and Japan for civil servant with Ngọc Mai. So we will move to the first one. gender stereotypes diverge in the US for civil servants. So common stereotypes are bureaucratic, administrative, and social work oriented. About bureaucratic, so these stereotypes suggest the civil servant jobs involves a lot of paperwork and following established rules through mutual associations, and this may be seen as less exciting or challenging for both genders in the US. So the next about administrative, this stereotypes imply tasks like data entry, scheduling and filing, the mutual associations, and this may be seen as less prestigious for men, applying for women seeking work-life balance. And the next is social work oriented. This stereotypes focuses on the work jobs like help the underprivileged, providing social services and community development. So it's female associations, and this may attract women interested in the happy professions. So, but discourage men seeking leadership roles. And so here are examples of common stereotypes. The first one is bureaucratic. A person in a corporate setting surrounded by filing cabinets and paperwork. And the next one is social work oriented. A social worker interacting with someone in need, perhaps offering support or counseling. So we will move to gender stereotypes diverse in the Japan for civil servants. So common stereotypes are frigid, stable, and demanding long hours. About the frigid, so civil servant jobs are seen as highly respected and desirable, offering a high social status, and it's masculine associations, and this may attract men seeking status and care advancements. So the next is stable. Government jobs so offer security and long-term employment, so appealing to those seeking stability, so this mutual associations, and this appeal to both genders seeking long-term employment security in Japan. So the next is demanding long hours. So civil servants positions often require working long hours and intense dedication to the organization. So this is a neutral association but cultural tie to masculinity, and this may discourage women due to the potential conflict with childcare and family responsibility. So here is one example of common stereotypes in Japan. It's frigid, a high-ranking government office, so in from shaking hands with a foreign dignitary. So I will invite Mai to present the next part.
Thank you, Ling, for presentation. And now I will continue with my part in the comparison of the gender stereotype in the civil servant between the USA and Japan. And to make it easy for everyone can understand and organize the content in my section, I will the design of the table for everyone to easy to understand. And the first I will compare based on 4 main factors. The first is the focus on the work stereotype between the USA and Japan. And second factor is the feminine association. And the third is the muscular association. And the last but not least is the bureaucratic. And in the first part, and now we can start with the first factor, is the focus on work stereotype between the USA and Japan. And as we know, in the Japan, the work-life balance and they independent. They also independent and individual. And freedom in the personal design, and in the Japan they like in the traditional and the memorials, and they also like work in group and indigenous to other work. And about the second factor is the feminine association between the Japan and USA. And in USA, you have a long time ago and in here very strong the development, and they appreciate in the position of the woman in the company and the social work. And in the Japan, in Japan, they have a still development in the feminine association is development is now is I think it's based on is a fact of the value, cultural value in the position of the woman in the family. The woman in here have a role with the take care of the children and the family. And the third factor is the muscular association from the USA and Japan. And the USA have the muscular association have a strong development, strongly development, and there will be in the significant movement in the significance of movement, and is the protect the men's rights and the social status. In the Japan, the men's right is still the development, screening, and rigorous steps. And the last but not least is the bureaucratics between the USA and Japan. In the bureaucratic in the USA, they are less exciting and impact of sport gender, and in Japan, they focus on the salaryman's culture free from the stereotype instead of the dedication to works. And now I will have some summaries of the content in my part in the USA, and the key difference to how gender stereotype influence culture choice. They focus in the USA. They focus on the work balance ties, and in the work balance and in the work balance and the service cultural, and in the Japan, the men have the Japan's belong to the work long hours, and the woman in here is stay face on the responsibility culture to protect to have a role with the family to protect to take care of your family and your children. And now can move in the next part. I want to invite bà Nguyễn Châu Phương to present.
Okay, hi everyone, my name is Phương, and now I will continue to part 4, the impact of gender stereotype to career advancement on civil servants. And the first is the impact of gender stereotype on career advancement in Japan. The gender roles and gender stereotypes are ingrained in the Japanese society, and it's often make the decision about the societal expectation and the career path of people in here. The second is in Japan, that the cultures have a strong expectation for women to prioritize the household and family responsibility over than advanced careers. So this societal norm that leads to fewer women leadership. So the last is female leaders in Japan may face the challenges and biases based on the gender stereotypes, such as they often being as less competent or less committed to career compared to the male counterparts. For example, despite Japan have a highly educated female population, but women are underrepresented represented in the leadership roles and in the public sector. Another example is the concept of Madaras. It means maternity harassment. It's prevalent in the Japanese workplace where the women encounter the discrimination and pressure when they become pregnant. So the next part is the impact of gender stereotypes on career advancement in the United States. In the United States, the gender stereotype also exists, but this country have greater progress for gender equality and challenging the traditional gender norms. So in the United States, there is a growing recognition of the value of the diversity. So it leads to more opportunity for women to pursue the higher position. And the last is the female leaders or managers in the United States may face the stereotypes and biases based on gender, but it has more support for gender diversity in leadership positions. And high-profile female leaders in the United States serve as the role models and challenges the traditional gender norms. For example, you can see here, this is Miss Sandra Day O'Connor, civil servant, the first female judge of the United States Supreme Court, and this is Miss Nancy Pelosi, the first female speaker of the United States House of Representatives. And the last part is compare the impacts on civil servants' career advancement between the United States and Japan. And the first differences is Japanese people have a strongly belief in traditional roles, but in the United States, women are valued their capacity more than their gender. And the second is Japan has fewer women in high position, but in the United States, the women has more chance to become leader or more. And the third is some women are treated badly in the workplace in Japan, while in the United States has more progress in treating men and women equally at the workplace. So the last one is Japan doesn't have many famous women, but in the United States, famous women are inspire others and challenge the traditional roles and the old idea about the gender. And the next part will be presented by Thu Trang.
Thank you, Phương. So, after understand the impacts of gender stereotype to the career advancements, now we will identify some common challenges of gender stereotype in the United States and Japan. First, we come to the United States. The first challenge is glass ceilings. Women in the United States may face the barrier to advancement as known as the glass ceilings, where they are encountered to preventing from reaching the top leadership positions. And for example, one example is of this challenge is the representations of women in the United States Congress. While the number of women serving in Congress have increased over the years, but they are still constitute a minority of the total membership, and as my last update, women makes up approximately 27% of the total membership in the 117th United States Congress. And the second challenge is work-life balance. Balancing work and family responsibilities it was a remain for women in the United States, and as a traditional gender, there may still details that women bear the primary responsibility for caregiving. And for example, female civil servants may face judgments or carry setback if they prioritize family commitment over the work obligations, even when they have demonstrated the competence and dedication in their role. And the last challenge is gender expectations. Stereotypes regarding gender roles and ability can influence perceptions of competence and suitability for certain roles in a civil service. For example, women may be assumed to excel in administrative or support role rather than the leadership or technology positions in the organization. And now we move to the PAN. The first challenge in the PAN is traditional gender role. The Panist societies tend to uphold traditional gender role with expectation that women's is prioritize family duty over the career advancement. For example, female civil servants may face pressure to conform to traditional gender role, and they are expected to leave work early to take care of the household responsibility. And the second is male-dominated leadership. And as you can see, the Panist leadership positions are still held by men, and that will create a barrier seeking women for advancement. For example, women may encounter implicit bias and exclusionary practice that limit their set to the leadership role with government agency. And the last challenge is maternity leave stigma. Returning to work after maternity leave can be stigmatizing for women with the stereotype that they will prioritize their roles as the mother over than the career advancements. For example, female civil servants may face discriminations or reduced career opportunity if they extend the maternity leave and request more flexible work. And in conclusion, the gender stereotype is play important role in the career choice and advancement opportunities. Faculty is especially in the civil servants, and both the PAN and the US still grapple with the gender stereotype. Despite climate position stereotype remains a challenge for women in both two countries. And this is all the references we use to analyze our topic today, and this is also the end of our presentations. Thank you for listening.